Now tuned in to the Reprobate show with Commander Thurston Hargrove and John the Organic. We the Backsliders, we the Backsliders. It's not what you believe, but what you know. Removing the veil from them lies they told. Let's get it.
It's the deal, everybody. It's the Reprobate show, and we are the Backsliders. What's poppin', John?
Man, I'm always good, always ready. What's that? I am good, or I say John is good. Oh, John is good.
Man, dive right in, man. I sent you this clip of Donnie McClurkin, yo.
Yeah, man.
He was complaining about the gospel music scene and how they almost like, growing up, they used to have this thing called the standard of holiness, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In terms of how you can't be like the world and all this and that.
Yeah.
And when I hear him talk about, the music industry, being a producer, songwriter myself, I always found it weird how, like, you couldn't grow up, you couldn't listen to, R&B music. They would call it the blues. Don't listen to the blues.
Everything was the blues.
But I'm like, all right, we can't listen to the blues, yo, right? To R&B. But if it's a movie that's playing, and, those movies, they have scenes in them that, music plays an intricate part in terms of how you feel away. Like, if it's a scary scene, it's like the all of that, you know what I'm saying? So people not knowing, even when they watch television or even when they get on the elevator or even when they're on a call waiting for a representative to get on another line, that music is programming them the same way. And the people that are making those productions of music, they're not saved and sanctified and Holy Ghost filled and water baptized and all of that. So what are we talking about? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are we really talking about, yo?
It's delusion. That's one thing. From actually being in it that you learn how delusional you become. Because you've been controlled, for many of us, controlled by an idea from such a young age.
Yep.
And that idea is a curse, and it is that it takes effort to be whole, To see holiness in its true sense is wholeness.
Right.
Shout out Stephen Bomar. You check him out sometime.
Wholeness, yes, wholeness.
Yeah, that's what they push a lot. I like it because it keeps that in the, I'm whole. I don't have to become whole. I am born that.
Instead of saying peace, they say wholeness.
Yeah, wholeness, nigga. And that's really what they were aiming at in church when they said holiness. But it's an H with no W, which means the wholeness. And if you watch and listen to Donnie and what frustrates him, I get it. It's really that they're not living or never have ever been living up to what they call the standard. But it's contradictory because they say Jesus is the only one who ever did or ever possibly could, because he's supposed to be the almighty, omnipotent God, bodied in flesh. Only him, which in actuality, that's who we all are.
Yeah.
All of us. Whether you like that person, whether it's a bitch in a gutter with some raggedy ass nigga selling her crack and then she blowing them off in the apple. They're both God, yeah.
Word.
However you want to look at it. And
No doubt.
God experiencing the gutter. That's God experiencing the lowest of vibration. All of it is God. All of it. And that's why we embrace the month. Like I said, I'm Pisces, water, all water. So we naturally can have easier time accepting the idea of all being God, no matter how disgusting you think it is. It's God. That don't mean that everything is to be adhered to or held on to. Experiences like waves in the water, comes and goes. Every experience, comes to pass. It comes to become the past.
Right.
So whether that's you, because they'll say you drinking alcohol and hanging out at the juke joint, that's not the problem, yo. It's your understanding of self wherever you are
Wherever you are.
and whatever you do.
Right.
And no one can judge that when you're pure. I seen a post today where a guy was saying, it says, when you choose to serve God, no matter what people think. This shit, that they own, man, it's ridiculous. It's never, it's like, and then the guy
It's so
wrote in there,
loopy, yo.
people gonna judge you no matter what you do. What you do? So now serving God is things you do, slave, serve. I don't serve Mother Nature. I don't serve anybody but devil.
Right.
The way that I relate to women is not serving. It's relating. It's the use or the proper use of energy for creation to create the reality we desire. You can't just go stick a fork in a socket and then say electricity is bad.
Right.
You don't know how to use it, yo. They don't know how to use Elohim, who they are, a negative and a positive charge. So their Bible tells them, don't eat from the. That don't mean you shouldn't be aware of the idea of good and evil, but we don't feed off of that, yo. So there's no judgment in it. To the pure, all things are pure. They are delusionally impure people seeking to be whole without the W. What is the W, my nigga? Womb. So you got WH to spell whole. They drop the womb all the time, nigga. So now they left with him. H. Trying to be holy. When there's nothing but a bunch of holes in everything that they do.
Every aspect of it. Word up, man.
From that perspective, that's all it can be.
You're right.
All it can be, yo.
We had these things called the standard of holiness, right? What we just talk about. And they had a list that our pastor put out. The do's and don't list. You know what I'm saying? The do's and don't list. And they had for the men, they had the men's section and the women's section. They made copies of it and passed it out to everybody. No going to the movies, no skirts below your ankle, no jewelry for the men. And I'm reading this list and I'm like, I think that was one of the things that really started. And even as a child, I was just like, it's not making sense. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I get it. I feel like my pastor at the time, she was wanting to protect people that she clearly knew lacked discipline in the way that she best could. So going to the movies, as weird as it sounds, because from her perspective, going to the movies is like going to the nightclub, just enjoying yourself. But for me as a kid, I'm like, how come we can't go to the movies, but we could go to Blockbuster and rent the same movie and watch it at home? You know what I mean? And probably be more perverted about it while you're at your house watching this shit. You know? So it's like it didn't add up. And then asking those questions in Bible study, we get shut down quick. Like, you know what I mean? You can't ask no questions like that.
It's a masculine institution. It's a large penis. That's why they have those seats. It's male driven, so it doesn't seek to give you understanding. And even though the scripture says that all you're getting, you get understanding. Now you get vilified for asking questions when that's what you should be doing to get an understanding. So they look to control you or keep you so-called safe, which is really controlling you, without giving you proper understanding so that you can grow in wisdom. That's not what church is designed to do. It's impossible. It wouldn't be set up that way. It wouldn't be set up the way it is. And
even
Jesus Christ wouldn't be a literal figure if they were if their goal was to bring you to true understanding. Jesus Christ, not saying that he wouldn't exist in their storytelling and their teaching, but it would be clear that his life is an allegory, not a literal pattern.
It's really you that we talk about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like if you really think about people that are listening, really think about music, like we led into the beginning. If you really know the science, the things that go on behind the scenes in terms of producing a record, even it could be Donnie McClurkin's most popular song, "We Fall Down and We Get Up," right?
Yeah.
There's production involved. That means the making of the song. There's writing involved. The writing of the record. There's mixing of the record. The engineering. All of those people that are lined up to make that sound, that what people are hearing, they ain't saved and sanctified.
No.
Oh, they're not.
And their spirit is more involved than the art.
Yes.
In the total production. Even Donnie talks about that on that video, on how it's a part of the industry. That's all that music, my gospel music is. It's just a part of the industry. You can use it to feel better, but it's not designed for that.
Right.
Or it wouldn't be, what's that show that Kurt Franklin? Yeah,
Sunday's Best.
Sunday's Best. Oh, my nigga.
This is exploiting niggas, you know what I'm saying?
No, just the same way Jermaine Dupri did with his show, and my little cousin got caught up in that. Big Lotto.
Yeah.
She was Miss Mulatto. Now they call her Big Lotto, and her whole image changed. I have issues with that's my.
Yeah.
These fathers, man.
They definitely be exploiting cats, man. With the Sunday's Best, I remember seeing a video of Kelly Price saying that, exploiting the things that go on in the music, the gospel music industry. You know what I'm saying? How wild it is. Huh?
And she got to be careful speaking out because they'll demonize and then they'll attack.
Yeah, man.
We know that whenever you try to lift that rug up, bro. You try to lift that rug up. What's that word they got? Church. That shouldn't exist because nobody should be hurt at church. Now the victim, that's demonizing they victim shit.
Word. Wow, man, that shit is wild. Yeah, you think about it like that, man. You know what I'm saying?
It's an institution, yo.
It is. And even in church.
Go ahead.
Even in church, being a musician, I remember playing the drums and there was a song that they were singing. And this is before it became, popular in terms of musicians. And I'm a creative person, so I'm playing the drums, playing this song, whatever, the choir. We're in the front of one of these guest churches, and this is our time to shine. So I'm on the drums, you know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, I'm like, I'm about to flip this shit, yeah. And I started playing the Bobby Brown "Don't Be Cruel" beat into the gospel song. And niggas is like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And I never heard nobody do nothing like that before, but I was like, fuck this boring shit. I'm about to freak this shit. Yeah. And people was feeling it because they could recognize that rhythm.
Yeah.
And as time went on, I see, musicians, organists, and all of that. Even they're really the controllers of them services.
Yeah.
And they'll put that. You might hear some little Kim Crustle you in the freaking choir song and all of that. And niggas can't deny it. It feels good. They're really controlling that.
Yeah. Because they don't lead them to. So when you don't lead yourself, you're caught in the pattern of what is pop or popular.
Right.
So they're asleep already. So if you bring in what's popular or what they're really, because remember, that's the church is trying to keep them out of the world that they're in, as if that's not a mental thing. So they'll keep them busy in church so that they don't get caught in the patterns of the world, which they're already in. So when you bring in certain beats and shit, it's already, that's real spiritual already. So they're gonna feel that vibration.
Yes.
They're gonna jump on it and not even be aware that it's there because they're not consciously observing. They're sheep. Sheep are sheep. They volunteer for that position. You feel me? Hopefully. What you say?
I know you saw that video, man, on New Year's Eve. It just spot out in Atlanta called the Dream Center or some shit.
Yeah.
Where these niggas is doing the swag surf dance in this fucking New Year's joint. And it caused it's supposed to be unity in the church. And unity there is strength now. But when that video surfaced the net, one of the first videos I saw was one of the Clark sisters' husbands, who's a bishop, I don't know his name. He was like, certain music don't belong in the church. We don't do that in the church. But at the same time, I was reading the comments. Somebody was like, "Yo, your wife was singing background for Beyonce in one of her songs." So what are you saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they be talking. It's all about controlling people.
It is, man.
That's the only reason to create a text to control people. You feel me? To control people. So they make them feel that their natural desires that they're born with are evil by taking. Remember, the moon is original sin. Sin has nothing to do with dirty deeds. Nothing at all, bro. Nothing at all. Dirty deeds has everything to do with the condition of the mind and heart of an individual. A camera is not evil in and of itself. You feel me? If you put it in a pervert's hand,
it is.
You feel me? So even what you call the Bible is not evil in and of itself. Like the music is not evil in and of itself. It's the intention of the individual. Yes. We know that the intention of the Bible is not good by the fruit of the church. We know that.
See it.
Yeah, and even in their book it says good and bad fruit shouldn't come from the same tree. What should you do to a tree that gives you good and bad fruit? Cut it down at the root with an axe. Throw it in the fire.
You got to
go. When it's because it's an institution, everyone is trained and brought up to protect the institution. So they'll always say, well, you can't blame that on the Lord. You can't blame that on God. That's not Jesus' fault. Scapegoat is that. This is a loser.
And when I saw that, when I saw that Dream Center video, and the pastor was trying to, make it make sense for people that have something to say. This is the first thing I saw was flames, in terms of this flamboyant shit. Like you gonna some fruity shit, and a lot of niggas might be like, he's not like that. He's married and all that.
But
yeah, you can see it on him,
yeah. You can see it, and then you judge
it on him, yeah.
Because I wouldn't listen to no man that has mannerisms like they have. I wouldn't. Why?
a man with womanerisms.
No, just give me a woman. Listen to a woman. Why gotta listen to these dudes? What do they do? What do they use when they preach back in our days? What do they wear on the pulpit? What is the preacher? The preachers. Remember they used
robes, huh?
Dresses, a dress, nigga. They want to be women, yo. That role that they're trying to play is ordained by nature for women. That's a woman's role. That's a woman laying on hands when you sick and shit. It's a woman's role. Then you sent that video where there's, was that Juanita buying up there? On that video?
I think so.
Yeah. She's a masculine woman. These women now in the church are not feminine. They've accepted this masculine role of hierarchy, this institutionalization. That's masculine. If they were truly stepping in a feminine role, there would be no church in existence. Not that they wouldn't have circles, spiritual circles, or communities that get together for spiritual purposes. That will always exist. You feel me? But the institution of church, if we were led by the feminine, would have no place, bro. It couldn't exist.
Right.
It wouldn't exist. That's a male prescribed institution, bro.
I gotta pull up the dictionary. Robe. A woman's gown or dress.
Thank you, bro.
Especially of a more elaborate kind.
Thank you. Now, when they say, what do they say when women wear pants in church? You shouldn't wear nothing that pertains to a man. But the preacher preaching a robe, and then they'll say, no, No, but you just read that. It's this shit, yo.
Oh,
No
man.
wonder, yo. We was brought up in confusion.
Damn, man.
Pure
And I haven't heard preachers even brag about their robe collection.
Yeah.
I got
Dude,
dope robes.
let me tell you something that happened to me.
Get some
bro.
dope dresses, nigga.
Let me tell you what happened to me. I went and this bishop invited me to his office. Do you know what this nigga showed me, man? An alligator shoe collection.
Alligator suit with what?
An alligator shoe collection.
I remember you telling me
Of
that.
alligator shoes. What do you think happened to him when COVID hit? What do you think? What we say don't exist. None of our children got touched because it don't exist for us.
Right.
But for him and his blessings of alligator shoes from the Lord couldn't keep COVID from taking him out.
Yeah,
These men, yo, they're realizing that they have no power and the church has no power. So now all you hear them do is come up with a bunch of excuses. You gotta serve God anyway, no matter what.
Check out my gator collections, my nigga.
You know? But there's no what about the people in the pews, yeah?
Yeah.
And the pew, I was taught this from a man named Tim Earl. And he was in the church with me, and he wasn't really in the church, but he was the only one who I came across that really used that Bible in a way that helped break my mind open. But he said a pew is nothing but a casket with both ends kicked out. And look at a pew and look at
nothing but a what now?
A casket with both ends.
Damn, son.
Ain't that real, yo? Because what do we used to do? Stretch out and take a nap on that pew. And if you just had a door, it's a casket, my nigga. And what is the man standing on? A pulpit. Pulling a what? A pit, a grave. A bunch of dead people sitting in
Damn,
being pulled. What does that mean? Emotionally pulled. Pulling on their emotions. Pulling on their heartstrings. Yeah. And they played it. Niggas, they played it. Even the musicians. I remember several musicians, bro, that I respected because they were dope. And after church, they would go in the alley and smoke a cigarette and say, man, I'm just waiting for a bishop to give me this check so I can go play at my next church. But they were a part of bands, you know what I'm saying, that the church would call secular. It was just for money. You know? But that preacher knew I can't have service without this organization drummer, my nigga.
The musicians, they play such an important role, man. I seen
it.
I remember our organist back in the day. He used to be late a lot. You know what I'm saying? Well, that was what they, he needs to be on time. But when he would come in now, that shit would be turned the fuck. It was like Superman walked in the building, like,
let's get it. He's greater than the past.
Yes,
we're musical people. That's our original language.
Yes, that organist is that's the motherfucker. That's the pastor right there.
Yeah,
he really running this shit. You know what I'm saying?
The organist is the pastor, and the drummer is his deacon.
The drummer is the what?
The deacon.
Yeah.
He's a deacon. Because you can get away without a drummer for a little bit. But if you ain't got the organist, my nigga.
Yeah, it's ugly.
You got people. Only people who want to really learn something can sit and listen to
tune in. Right.
They're not learning nothing at church, but they have a desire. So they can sit. The other ones, they're too emotionally out of control.
Yeah, so even in terms of a preacher preaching, man, when you hear that, like you try to pull people in.
Preach to you right now. All you gotta do is this, bro. This is what I learned. Some of y'all when you start out, when you look at, especially the Black Pentecostal church, they're all suffering, number one. They don't have emotional control. And they're coming there to get a release. So all you gotta do is touch on the boss been talking to you. Like some woman gonna jump up when you say your boss ain't giving you no day off. Some woman gonna jump off and go,
Thank you, Jesus.
Your boss don't do. Now everybody's going there. Now what the organ's gonna do?
Yeah.
Now they got it. This is okay in voodoo, and if we're telling you what it is, but the church don't tell you what.
And you can tell just from those shouting. We were talking about yesterday, like everybody got the same fucking step. It may got that differentiation in this shit. But you mean to tell me if you really think Jesus is real and all of that, that back in the day when the disciples and all that, they was cutting the same type of steps that you're cutting now in church, Joe?
That's our shit. It's abused. It's perverted. It's tribal. It's what we used to. When you see them in Africa, and the woman is stomping her feet a certain way, and then the men react. Then she take her other foot and time, and she stomp it away. Then she move her body in a way, and then the men react. This is us natural.
But it's like twerking. That's on some twerking type shit, yo.
And that's not in and of itself a destructive thing or a negative or a bad thing. It's ignorance that makes these things abusive or so-called a problem. The ignorance is we have no idea who we are. You can't go to church and have an idea. And no, you can't. Not today. It's a new day. You're supporting a system that is poison. Yes. And it's been, go ahead.
And it's been what now?
Shut down.
Yeah.
Mama's back, yo. Mama's back. They don't know the time and season.
I like the way you describe sin, bro. The way you describe sin. You know what I'm saying? Because it's almost based on who's perceiving it like that. The person who's holding it. You know what I mean? Because I might do something, but if you give it to the next person, they pervert it and they thinking and all that. Yeah, it could be that. You know what I mean?
Yep. The same thing, camera. The same thing some person can take a beautiful picture. Another person can make you go, man, with the same camera.
Yeah.
So some people look at church, they don't see what we see because they don't look under the rug, bro. Nah. They don't want to know.
Man, it's funny you said that, yeah. I was thinking about that yesterday after our conversation. Like, you know, my experience in church is like somebody actually sweeping shit under the rug. And it gets to the point when you walk in the room, you see the rug has got a lip in it where you can clearly see it's something.
Nigga, they step on it.
They keep come up,
get on their shoes. They don't care,
Don't even care.
They're ready to shout, nigga. They don't have emotional control, so that's an emotional outlet. So when they get there, there's a group of them. So that's energy system. You feel me? So now they're pulling and vampiring each other because they're being vampired. What did Jesus say? Eat of my flesh and do what? Drink of my blood. Man.
Word.
That's in their book, my nigga. That's vampire. That's energy harvesting. But their preachers are so ignorant and take it literal that they can't see that. They don't even understand what's being said.
One of my dudes, he was like saying his mom's a pastor. No, she's a preacher. And she was saying how he was having this type of conversation with her. She's like, all I know is I hope you just make it to heaven. You know, I got to do what I got to do to make it to heaven. Like, you know, almost just like this missing clear information is just saying, fuck all of what you saying. Yeah. I got to get to heaven, Joe. You know what I'm saying?
That's why, honestly, sometimes, bro, I'd rather just hang with white
people. Sometimes you rather what, yeah?
Hang with white people, man. Because there's got to be a new breed of Negro to come. This shit is getting hard, bro. With our people, man, Jesus, man, he done shut the brain. And maybe it's just our age group being, I'll be crossing over on this planet, passing the sun, 50 times in 3 years. It'll be 47 years March the 5th. So our age group and up,
that's what's so dope to see people like Mom Jones, MJ, call her MJ, just to, man, I'm like, shouts to you, just to even have that perspective at that point in I was like, that's so dope. Because
Yeah.
most people not even gonna.
Yeah, when I see the ones that's been here longer than us and they're coming out of church and whatever religion, it's like they should be really lifted high
Oh yeah.
because they're coming against some programming that's even deeper than what we do.
Deeper than what we, yes, for real.
To the point where it
Oof.
aged their body. They didn't do it's their
Yes.
belief system that aged their body, and then they can go through conditions and the idea of aging and come out. Salute to you, yo. I mean, yo. Because I'm. Some people would say that we're old because we've been here 47 and 50 years. You feel me? So they'll say we old. I feel like honestly, without exaggeration, better than I did at 18.
It's
More
all
fresh
mental.
than I did. Yeah. So
I tell people I'm 25 times 2, yeah. How old are you? 25 times 2. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it.
I'm a little bit. When they ask me how old I am, I say I don't know what you're talking. I don't know what you're talking. How old are you? I don't. Are you? I've been
forever
here,
young, yo.
40,
Fuck you, really?
I've been 47 around time with 47
right.
years. If you want to know how long this physical presence is, 47 years.
Yeah.
But that don't affect me in no way. That belief system did that, yeah. And that's why if the longer we stay in it, the more difficult it becomes to get out. That's why the people that come out that have been in it longer than us, they deserve to be listened to.
Yes.
They deserve to be listened to.
Oh yeah.
Because if you can do that mentally, that's
it.
a greater power than a Mr. Olympus.
Hell yeah.
That's why I speak away, but I really have compassion for people in the church. Because it's sad. It's really sad to see people that could easily change their whole reality.
And it's so dope to know that it's somebody like the way society is set up. They'll give somebody like the Jenner dude on the Wheaties box all the props in the world for changing his reality. That's who he is. But on the other side, when we people like that do what we're doing, oh, you motherfucking crazy. That shit don't even.
But that's a good thing in this untoward generation. It's backward. This is a backward generation, including religion. All of it. All of them, bro. Because there really is no religion but self, inner self. When you relate with your inner self, you relate to everyone and everything because it reflects. You don't have to put effort on, I'm going to work on how I treat women. I'm going to work on how I treat people of another people group. I don't have to do that because I'm good with me.
Yes.
So
since
I'm good with me, if a dude come up to me with the same vibration as, and it has happened, he got white or it ain't even white. He got pale skin.
Don't even matter, right?
Fuck, nigga, that ain't even a talk.
Yeah, when I did Uber, I had some dope conversations with different people, different races, pastors, preachers, and it was just a lot of enlightenment for them that I was setting and even grabbing from them in terms of how, people that I wouldn't even think. This was during when COVID. They were like, man, this is bullshit, man. I mean, scientists, doctors, lawyers, people that people really hold in high regard. They were like, man, you're right. This is some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And it just verified even more what I already knew all along. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really go on my intuition.
We would go to these places during so-called the pandemic with people, who were conscious of the fact that it wasn't real. And every time, it hurt my heart. It was less of us. Like, man, because we so churchy, that we believe everything. Watch food, they believe everything because it has to be real for God to be true. So they say, let God be true and every man a liar. So why do they watch the news?
Right.
Why are they on prescription drugs? They don't believe God. It says who report. I hear people who take prescription drugs, bro. You can't pop a Tylenol if you believe God's report. Why do you pop a Tylenol? Ask.
Don't matter with it, huh?
You know what I'm saying? I need both. None of that would exist, yo, if there was power in the name of Jesus. If Jesus' name or him or the church or the blood of Jesus or any of that had any power, the planet or the people, our corporate experience would not have been what it was in the past 1,000 years, 2,000
right.
years. Wouldn't have been that. So now what we should realize is the only reason the world is in the condition that it's in is because it's filled with a bunch of hateful people. And I don't even mean hate each other. You got a bunch of people that hate them, a bunch of people hiding things, a bunch of people not working through issues, a bunch of people blaming other people. They're not doing the work, yo. They're not.
Right.
The majority of people, whatever color their skin is, don't matter.
Don't matter.
Don't matter. They're not doing the work, bro.
Don't matter, yeah.
I can't. I don't care no more, bro, about this. What we need to do as black people. I don't give a care.
Yeah.
If they say go to church, I'm not in the job. I don't care. I'm not with them at all, bro.
Man, that's another level of self discovery in terms of like, hold up, man, I'm not falling for the black white thing, yeah. No. It's deeper than that. If somebody want to get caught up in that shit, cool. You know what I'm saying?
If you're not free, I'm saying if you're not free as an individual, you're to me a racist. You're worse than a so-called racist. Because you believe that you're imperfect. I don't want to be around that diversity. You always got something to work on to be that. That's all they do. I don't have to do no shit to be better. I'll do what I do because I am. It's a difference. Religion is over, which means you don't do. I'm still into voodoo, but I don't do it the way I did when I first came into it. I believe in church. So those other spirits, bro, they were just like Jesus. Ogun was just another Jesus.
Yeah, I want to play the.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I said Alexa was another Jesus until I realized by digging into it, no, these are aspects of myself. I'm studying me, and I can use the same material and just shift my perspective, bro. I'm studying me.
I really appreciate this conversation because it's just my journey just showing me so much. Because there's people to be like, yeah, what you guys are saying, yeah, I dig it, but like, there are genuinely people that actually really do fucking care. What the fuck? And I'm like, okay, because they might be like, I know a friend. She worked at volunteered at a church to feed the homeless. You know what I'm saying? And she was saying how, even though she's like, yo, church, I'm not fucking with that, but I want to do something to, serve. So she went through this period where she was doing this feeding the homeless with all the members of the church, but she would only go there for to actually feed them. And she said to me, she was like, one day, they were getting the plates together, and it was some cornbread or something like that they were giving out, and they had to take it out the bag to put it on the plates to give it to the homeless people. And she said the pastor that's over the shit grabbed some cornbread that was clearly molded and put it on the plate, and fed it to the people. And she was just like, wow, like, and I think I mentioned this to you before, a while back. You were saying how it's all just really a money grab. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it could appear like, yo, we're doing we're serving our community. We give out free food, this and that.
They're serving themselves their ego.
Getting that bag, yeah.
Because I guarantee you, ask her, well, what about the people in your neighborhood? Are there any children there that could use the extra meal? A book bag, pencils? But you got this idea because we don't start inside. So the way love properly flows, why do you have people groups for culture to develop you properly? It's not that I don't like my people group. I love me. That's where got this perspective because this comes from our mother. Before you walk out the house to go take her somebody else, your mama like, boy, clean your goddamn room.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like
that's not church, yo. Church don't teach you that shit. So now you come out and walk past all these people in your so-called neighborhood or community to go get in a group for under the government tax program to feed homeless people. And that's why the hungry you'll have with you always. I won't, and I don't.
That's real shit, yeah.
How
you help the community? Your own house isn't even government.
There you go.
People in your family aren't even. You know what I'm saying?
My daughters are a gift to the motherfucking world. I don't need to help nobody else to do good for this. Anything else I do after that is my gift to my mother, nature.
No doubt,
man. Great mother. Anything else that I do, even to speak, to even say that Jesus ain't shit, the Bible ain't shit, God ain't shit, to even say that to anybody other than me and my household is a gift to humanity because they are her children.
Wow.
So we speak the truth in love, yo, no matter how it feels or sounds to those that are trapped in the lie. We speak the truth in love. You're not serving or helping anybody involved in these programs when you got a house that you ain't taking care of, kids around you. You want to feed the children? What Penny used to say, fuck feed the children. Won't you feed one in your neighborhood that you pass every day? Ask the kids getting off the bus in your neighborhood how they're doing.
That's so. I can't do
that. That's what the Black Panther was birthed out of. That kind of mindset birthed the Black Panther.
Yeah.
We can police our own, but see, this idea of government comes from God external, because He got a heavenly host.
I'm going to create this nonprofit for the children and man, fuck God.
I govern my own heaven, which is my own mind. So as a people, we should govern ourselves, we should police ourselves, feed our own. So in your community, fuck other communities, they need to take care of theirs. How dare you? Feed yours to where you don't even know what homelessness means. Right. If it exists somewhere else without the media and television, how would you know that community got homeless people when yours is functioning? And if they need help, guess what they should do? Come to you.
You know that saying, home is where your heart is at? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a lot of people that are so-called over these organizations. They really more homeless than the so-called homeless. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Damn, man.
Yep. Institutions, yo. Institutions were only to be used for a season. You feel me? Wow. When we go from, because it's the way that we turn like the earth, the plant, the earth, whatever the name is, Gaia or Kai, different names they give it. It's not real. It's like a video game. It's a program, but it's within the matrix, the organic matrix of nature, the great mother. We can't get out of that womb while you're in the physical. That means you're in her womb still. You're not born until you get it right. That's all this is about. That's why the washing machine wash your clothes in the cycle. So we're going through these cycles to get it right. But what happens is a lot of people fall under they deify the washing machine. You feel me?
Right.
They always got to be going through, everything's a struggle because they're never doing what they want to do. They're doing what they feel, like you said in the early, whatever I got to do to get to heaven. I'm already in heaven. My life is heaven. Right. Heaven is a now thing, and hell is also, bro.
Right, for real. Word up, man.
A lot of people experiencing hell, right?
Yes. Damn, man. Shit, man.
Heaven. and I'm more, because of the time we're in, we speak with a different urgency. Right. Because you shouldn't right now if you want to change your life, if anything's in your life you don't like, you shouldn't be complacent now. You shouldn't be at peace now. Peace are for those who are there. It says that the Bible even says the only laboring you should do is to enter rest.
Mm.
You feel me? I'm at rest now. I don't labor no more. I've done the work. So I rest meaning we go from faith to faith, glory to glory for real now, because we don't despise small beginnings. We know it's always a process. So we know we're in a process of constant change. So when the old starts to pass away, they're panicked because they're attached to the old world, like you said, the past. Sure, they're in the past with the past. And that's what he says after or. Past or nothing. Why don't he call himself a future? I don't have a past, I have a future. To them, that's stupid. But it's linguistic, it's vibrational, pasture, pastoral. They're stuck in the past. And they're fenced in. I heard him preach it before. God got me boxed in. Thank you. He got me boxed in. Fuck that nigga, yo. He's a person. You got to do all of this. Box your wings. Bend your arm. Put you down.
Right.
Just to get you to see who you are? No. To see who is.
Words, huh?
He is. Yo, this is
I saw a video the other day of a lady at an aquarium or something, but she was dressed as a mermaid, and she was underwater, and people were watching her through the window, while she was swimming or whatever, and fucking, she was giving out her breathing. Well, that motherfucker came out that mermaid outfit so quick and got to the top of the water. She was basically. She was dressed as a mermaid, so it was like a costume she had on. But she was underwater, like with her own breath, nothing to help her breathe, right? So it was only a certain amount of time that she could, and she was swimming under there. And I guess while she was swimming, she automatically looked like, you know what? My breathing is running out. Let me get this. She took that motherfucking mermaid shit off so quick and started getting to the top of the water. And I feel like when I think about just our escape from what we were dealing with, it was like that. It was like, let me get this shit off of me. Motherfucker, before I fucking die in this shit, yo. Because I got there's something more to see than just to be drowned in a belief system. You know what I'm saying?
That's how we
see things, yo.
Everybody didn't react like that. That's why me, you, Keisha, and that's why we clicked. Because as soon as we saw it, we was like that. This shit. They make excuses and sweep it under the rug, which that's the root of delusion. Once you look past something, you're going to continue to do so to justify you first looking away from it. So when you see some people in the church, they got questions all the time. They got the devil tormenting because they're never settled. You feel me? Because they're really more within the realms of sanity than everybody else. The majority of the world is insane because this is an untoward world. We were led by kings. We're led by men. That's destructive. That's destructive, yo. It should be led by the feminine. That's all we're doing is reversing the spin of humanity. It was degenerated. What did I say about us? We're degenerate. We're the destructive ones. But when we're under the wisdom of the feminine, we only destroy what should be destroyed. Yes. And guess what the church is, bro? A part of what should be destroyed, bro. No different. No different than crack cocaine, bro. No different. No different. I watched it, yo. I've seen it, bro. I promise you. Jesus is no different on a nigga's brain than crack cocaine is on a nigga's teeth.
Niggas on the pipe, right up.
I promise you.
And if you're drowning, yo, you're not fucking trying to save everybody. You're trying to save yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can't do nothing for nobody else unless you save yourself first. You know what I mean?
But they think that happens after there is after life ends, as if life can end. There's no such thing as afterlife.
Word.
Death don't exist, bro.
Yes,
They
man.
they lie to us, yeah. If
Ah,
Jesus lived, it's only because you live. But
that's
they
it.
say because he lives, I can face tomorrow. You know, that is the most
Wow, yeah.
pathetic, pitiful shit I've ever heard come out of any person.
Then they'll flip it and
Because
say,
I live, yo.
the presence of the
Because
Lord
you
is
live.
here. The presence of the Lord is here. I feel it in the atmosphere. If it's here, then how can death be real? You know what I'm saying?
This shit crazy, bro.
So many contradictions, man. That's the
Yo,
vibes, you know what I
and
mean?
then they'll say you crazy for questioning the delusion and insanity. We grew up, bro. To be functional is an accomplishment from what we grew up with.
Definitely, man.
It's an accomplishment to be
Hell yeah,
functional.
man.
Not to get a car, not to get a house, because we've seen all of that. We've seen all of that. Yeah, but they were dysfunctionally progressing in the false nature. I didn't like it. You know how I know, bro? Look at what do they say? Wait, don't judge a thing until it's time.
Yeah.
So what were we told was supposed to be the experience, face to face, and what? Glory to glory.
Word.
Is that happening anywhere?
You know what I'm saying?
No, y'all. We gotta be truthful now, bro. What do they say about the truth, bro? Knowing it sets you free, but it's gonna hurt your feelings first.
I
That's
tell you,
real.
I was pissed off. Initially, I was pissed. Like, yeah, like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
Really thirst all these years and
Yeah,
shit.
there you go. I was mad at me.
Yes, yeah. I was like,
At
fuck,
me, yo.
man.
I was mad at me.
Oh, how come I didn't grasp this shit
I was like,
earlier?
nigga, you knew when you was a kid. First, let's be real. I knew, yo. All them
Yeah.
fucking glitter boys at church, I knew. I told you when I left Louisville, I knew I wasn't gonna be saved because to me, salvation and gay was the same thing.
That's
It was the
real
same
shit,
thing.
man.
It was to me.
How the
As a
fuck,
man,
you know what
to
I'm
me,
saying?
to be saved meant you're gonna be gay eventually. That's what it meant
Yeah,
from
man.
what I was seeing. As a kid, I wasn't even 13 when that was sealed in my mind. I wasn't even 13. I hadn't moved yet. I had nothing to do with it because it was a glittery boy thing. But then getting dropped off in Atlanta and seeing crime right next to me, you know what I'm saying, bullet over my head, you start to say, shit, maybe I need to give the Lord a try. And that's
Yes.
abuse, bro. That
That
ain't
gay
love.
shit is definitely the one of the red flags. Another
Yeah.
red flag for me is the delivery. Well, the Bible says that, you know what I
The
mean?
whole delivery. Because you are now a man that you got to show that you are not the same guy you were. So you have to first express some sort of like when a nigga go to jail and then he go to before the judge. The judge is looking for a certain demeanor.
Yes.
That's the same shit in the church, bro. It's a certain demeanor that you gotta have as a man or come on. If I'm
I'm
the
me in
way I'm
any
acting,
room. In any
nobody
room
would
I'm
say
in,
I'm
I'm me.
saved, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Nobody, yeah. So nobody would dare confuse either one of us for being saved.
Any room. This is what you're gonna get. You know what I'm saying?
Because to them, that's not what saved men do. Because Jesus has already fucked us in the ass. So we should have a different demeanor.
Your
That's
pastor's
just
up
the
there.
truth, bro. Yeah.
Man, shut,
Hey, what
shut
is
the
the
fuck
difference?
up, yo.
What is the difference between men at church or the prayer service and Will Smith receiving his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? What's different?
Right, it's
Bent
real,
over with his ass out. Bent over, yo. Our
yeah, so,
original. When did the men? You can study this, bro. And it's not much alive in Africa, the continent, even today. So I couldn't tell you where exactly to go. But there's some traditions of ours now that exist still that the only time you see the men bow in our festivals and ceremonies to get on knees or to bend over is when a woman. And that's it, bro. So if the presence of the lower is here, it's because it's all men. So we lowered, but we want her to come. They say open the windows of heaven and let it rain. It's the same as when you with your woman. What you should, the goal should be for her to reign. That should be the goal. Nature to reign. So if that's true, the best thing for humanity is that the women motherfucking thrive, niggas.
Word up.
Women, not men. Not these men that's pastoring churches no different than pimps in Bentleys and Rolls Royce. And they won't jet that further pollute the air. Burn fuel in our car. Fucking boys.
What's dope about platforms that like this and being able to have these types of conversations, man? It's like I know that like generations before this physical form of me right here. I mean, when it's gone, after it's gone, that future generations could look back and be like, they was way ahead of the curve with this
I
shit.
want
You know
my
what I'm saying?
grandkids to look at this and be like, man, he wasn't. So that their attitude could be like how I feel when I lie to myself and say, Shaka Zulu, my great granddaddy. But I can do that because he looked like him. But he ain't really great granddaddy. But that's the beauty of our connection to our ancient roots. Because guess what? Way back there, he is.
Yeah.
So I can now choose. I don't want to be like Jesus. I want to be like Shaka Zulu.
Right.
I want to be like Mansa Musa.
Yes.
You feel me? That's
right.
who I want to be like.
Right.
Want to be like that. Now, what if you painted the picture of him and told me it was a story about me? I might feel way different about this story.
Wow.
Same book, different perspective.
I hear a lot of people using this term "inner child" a lot lately. And I used I use that in one of my songs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, how did I say it? In terms of a woman, like she saw my inner child and my heart of gold. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I feel like when I talk to myself, have these conversations with myself, it's like I'm talking to that kid. You know what I mean? And because it's really me, I feel like I'm a grown ass kid, Joe.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And I think, what do you say to your inner child, Joe? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now. When you see that face behind me, and my creativity, I'm being him now because I can't. In this world, it's not profitable to be in that all the time. So being a man separates us because we learn how to balance that.
Yeah, no
when
doubt.
we together like this and we making music and we going through creative shit, niggas, we are in our child boyhood.
Word up.
You feel me? And that's because we trust each other. And I know you too. We don't feel we feel more comfortable doing it because we real. We don't hide nothing. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
But now, do you ever notice this? Women have the ability to make you accidental. Go there. And that shit can be embarrassing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's where you know that that's a greater power because we with each other because it's not as, I can be you in your boyhood, we boys will be boys. You feel what I'm saying? But what did we talk about? What do we vow when that presence of who she is enters? They mature faster than us and they stay at that place. So with masculinity comes the comfort of, I like to call myself like muddy waters. Yo, listen to that electric mud house. Like muddy waters, bro. On the day I was born, my mama told me, nigga, I'm going to be the greatest man alive. I'm a mannish boy, yo. I embrace my childhood,
Yes.
my inner child, yo. He's a
Got
boy.
to, man.
He's
It's
a
just the
boy,
chill's
yo.
perspective is so dope. I was on Facebook memories. That's kind of the only time I really get on Facebook to see things I might have posted in the past. And I posted a video back in when Keaton was like mad young, yeah. And in the video, he was saying he was with his grandmother, and he asked his grandmother, did she know any poor people? And that shit was so dope to me. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody else might be like looking at our perspective and be like, nigga, what you mean? And then for me, it was just like, what really constitutes being rich in his eyes? And for me, that's how I see it too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Homeless people, bro.
Words, yo. Words.
Rich homeless
Say it, yo. Gotta give you some jewels, yo. You know what I'm saying? Take this with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I met this homeless guy. Yo, go ahead, my bad.
No, you guys, a child's mind is so dope, man. The way they say things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You said you met a homeless person and what though?
He had this book, bro. This dude was writing poems and drawing blueprints for buildings, yeah.
Wow.
This man was rich, bro.
Right.
He was homeless because he didn't realize Jesus. And the more I talked to him, do you know where his trauma was from, bro? I'm on Rainbow Drive working at a program right across from South DeKalb Mall, where these homeless people used to come in a lot. Church fucked them up, man.
Damn, man.
Church. He was in the ministry before, yo.
Damn, yo.
Yeah, this man was a fucking
That's
genius.
stories like that.
Yeah. Then I met another homeless man before. He was happy with it. He was different than that man. He was happy with it. He was rich for real, man.
Wow.
I gave him some fucking from I was working at home, what is it? Family Dollar. So I just gave him some fucking flip flops that we had. Yo, the energy that he put on it, my nigga, made me envy him.
Wow.
It was I get the nigga did it. He was like, woo! I'm fresh now, baby. I'm fresh now, baby. Oh! Family Dollar flip flop, Joe. He is rich.
Oh yeah.
He did that, you know. I was in the church at the time praying for some shit. Gave this man some flip flops. He talking about, and he reminded me of how I was when I was a kid.
That's dope, yeah.
Man, my whole perspective is different than it was when I was in the church. So
that's dope for real, yeah.
Anything,
I'm telling
bro.
you, man.
I put energy on shit like that. When my daughters make me something, I don't even really know what it is. I do the same thing that homeless man do.
Word up, yeah, that's dope.
Nigga.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
learned a lot from that homeless man.
I fucks with that. No,
man. How dare me, yo? I wasn't even happy that day. And this nigga was happy as hell over the flip flop. He cracked my mind, another area of my mind open, bro. He like broke it off. I'm going to church praying and shit, sleeping in a bed, praying for the Lord to do something. And this nigga got some flip flops and rejoice like that. I said, I'm gonna put energy on everything I get like that.
Hell yeah.
My life is different now, bro. I get
and them songs, man, fucking program the people to keep
to be all low
less than.
Man.
Oh man.
Mama got no dude. What? Baby need a pair of shoes. I hate music.
Slave music, man.
I don't give a fuck if it's in church or not. I hate all of that shit.
Yeah, that shit weird.
It's time for it to go, yo. Mama's home.
Oh yeah, you
So you got it's time to clean up, bro. That's what we doing.
So we here, the motherfucking Reprobate show. You know what I'm saying? We at the top, man. Good shit, man. You know what I'm saying?
Word. Jesus,
yeah, we'll be back, man.
Next time, home.
You already know.
Word.